say Mrs. Lowe never got over her husband's death. They say she would wander about in her wedding dress like Mrs. Havisham from that Dickens novel, Great Expectations.
Oh, like Hamlet's girlfriend in the play Hamlet.
They say she ended up in an institution.
It's sad when people lose all their marbles.
I think she just lost the will to live when her husband died. They say she would wander about, her ghost in the woods, hoping to reunite with the ghost of her husband.
When I was growing up, I had an aunt. She was crazy. Thought she was a chicken. We would have had her committed, but we were poor and we needed the eggs.
Yeah.
The story of Mrs. Lowe goes... Mrs. Lowe was consumed with guilt after the death of her husband, and his ghost would haunt her at night and stuff, and that her lover took off with all her silver and stuff. So one day she walked over to the side of a dune and started digging. And needless to say, the hole collapsed because it was just made of sand and, well, no one knew where she was. And now they say that her ghost walks the dunes at night in mortal fear of the ghost of her husband.
Weather on the Great Lakes was severe. Why should they risk their necks sailing this time of year? They did not want to sail. But no one can escape an appointment with doom. Captain Lowe was an indomitable figure. No one dared defy him. It was evening when the storm came, a gale larger than even the old-timers could remember. It was 9:18 p.m. when the keel of the good ship Ingrid Dane broke. She sank beneath the waves 11 minutes later. The body of Captain Lowe sank into the dark depths, his last command waiting for him below.
The strange thing about the wreck of the Ingrid Dane is that there wasn't that much wreckage. 1900, my granddaddy was taking a walk along the beach late one afternoon, and he came across a pocket watch that had washed ashore. And he picked it up, and it had stopped at exactly 9:18. And so my granddaddy figured that was when the Ingrid Dane went down exactly. 9:18 p.m., November 18th, 1896. My granddaddy returned the watch to Mrs. Lowe, as it was the right thing to do.
Mrs. Lowe's maiden name was Ingrid Lundgaard. She was second-generation American. Ingrid had a second cousin, Klaus Lundgaard, a performer in the Stockholm Circus. He was aboard the Titanic when she sank on April 14th, 1912. He survived by impersonating a child, thus being allowed on one of the last lifeboats. Before Titanic sank, he met the acquaintance of Mr. Daniel Marvin, whose father founded Biograph Film Studios. His wife, Mary Graham Marvin, used her influence to produce a movie. The film received a lukewarm reception outside of Western Michigan. It did serve to spread and establish the legend of Captain Lowe and his ill-fated crew.
I like the part in The Wizard of Oz with the cowardly lion. when he
Bert Liar.
Yeah, well, he takes his tail and he goes, I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do. Oh!
I like it, that part of the movie too.
I like those old Scooby-Doo cartoons where the ghost is revealed as a fraud, and the fraud goes, I would have got away with it too if it weren't for those meddlesome kids.
But you know what I don't understand about that movie? Why, when Dorothy melts the Wicked Witch, do the green soldiers give her the broom instead of avenging her?
Well, that's the way of things with evil empires and dictatorships. When you knock off the top person, the whole edifice comes tumbling down.
So I guess they didn't like her.
Well, it's different, of course, when the evil empire has the love and goodwill of its citizens.
Huh.
I had a dog, border collie, Rover, great dog. He got run over. A month later, I got lost in the woods. I was 5 or 6. The ghost of that dog appeared and led me to safety.
Good old Rover.
Yeah, good dog. Let's talk about something else.